Hola amigos. So we're back here at the first ever hempcrete home built in Austin, Texas, and we are going to pick up where we left off last week. This is part 2 of building with hemp. We're going to get into killer details. We're going to get into all kinds of new ways and methodologies of building with hemp, as well as some really neat upcoming code changes that may be on the horizon. Let's go.
This here is hemp wool. This came from Hempatecture. You mentioned Maddie Mead and Tommy Gibbons as well. And this is a more easier plug and play type product. So, similar to your fiberglass bad insulation, this is 90% hemp and the rest is a type of binder, like
it's a recycled plastic.
Plastic binder, exactly.
Yeah.
And so, it doesn't give you all of the properties that hemp does, but it gets you 60 to 70% of the way there. And also, it's a natural product that has a very low environmental impact for an insulation, and also great to work with. You're not going to get all itchy like fiberglass, those types of properties. So that's one. And also, this came out of Canada, but Hempatecture is also helping to localize this more in the United States. They're building a facility out in Idaho, southern Idaho, to manufacture this, and then they'll be sourcing their industrial hemp out of Montana. So a big thing about this industry is helping us localize and regionalize our construction supply chain, which is huge.
100%. So let me pause you there.
Yeah.
I just want to say really quick, guys, I am using this here in Austin, Texas on my high performance projects. And I really like this stuff. And one of the huge reasons I like it is because it's an opportunity to inject so much of one material into my home. It's like there's so much area and volume that I'm able to put something into, and it could be a petroleum-based material, it could be any number of materials, right? And you've got your rock wool installations; those are wonderful materials. This, to me, is kind of similar to a rock wool material. It doesn't have quite the fire resistance capabilities as a rock wool, but outside of that, it has pretty much tit for tat, very similar performance to a rock wool. And the one benefit that I see that rock wool doesn't have is the embodied energy use, as you mentioned. This just has so much less embodied energy use. So I think both are excellent installations. I've used both of them in my houses. But for me, I am just a huge fan of this one, and this is what I'm using moving forward because it's so easy to get this one in a project.
Absolutely, and it's easy for your contractors and your crews that it's, plug and play. There isn't a lot of different techniques you need to learn for that. And then another great product based out of Kentucky with Greg Wilson, his company Hemp Wood. This is hemp-based flooring, so very kind of similar to like bamboo flooring, I would say, or even white oak. It's engineered. The top layer of it is hemp, and this was all hemp grown in Kentucky, manufactured and processed in Kentucky. So they're also localizing and regionalizing their building materials as well. This right here is...
Let me pause you on this one. Is this unfinished? Is it clear coat?
Yeah,
what am I looking at here?
This is unstained, unfinished.
Sure.
And then this is stained with their bourbon staining.
Okay.
And so they have different types of stainings that they use for this as well.
This is very pretty, and I can see that it's got some sort of a kind of engineered wood scenario on the bottom.
And this is a different cut as well. So that kind of gives you some different approaches to the finished look that you could get.
Awesome. And so I'm kind of seeing in my mind like an OSB of sorts, right? So this kind of seems like this could work its way into the OSB market possibly.
Absolutely. And speaking of that, Canagrove, which comes from a company called Hemp Traders, they're using hemp-based particle board for cabinetry and those types of materials as well. So this is kind of the raw form compressed, and then this is a finished coat that you could envision, your cabinetry and other fiberboard-based products using some hemp wood core.
Yeah, I'm guessing this is an extremely stable substance, and that's probably why it's a good fit for inside this pre-finished panel.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Very cool. Okay, anything else?
Yeah, and then also, people want to dive into this more. There's some great books out there to start to look into building with hemp, hempcrete construction. There's a lot of great resources online, like you're looking at as well. William Stanwix and Alex Sparrow wrote the Hempcrete book, which has been amazing. Steve Allen, which people should look up, with the International Hemp Building Association. This was the first book I ever read and really got me into it. And his course that I did in Berthoud, Colorado, really opened my eyes in 2014 to this whole world of hemp construction, which led me to you, which led me to building science and the positive energy guys. And so I went down that building science wormhole. And Steve, actually, this is a really cool book that just came out. It's 50 international case studies. So different homes built across the world and different structures. Like, this is a multi-story condominium project that they did out in Italy. So, in Europe, we haven't gotten to that point here in the States, but they're using this in commercial buildings, larger projects, things of that nature. And so this is a great book. For me, it didn't really open my eyes until I went to Steve's International Hemp Building Symposium and saw all of these projects worldwide. I'm like, wow, people are actually doing this, and they're out there. So we just got to kind of see it to believe it, and then once we do, we can start to bring these projects to life.
Totally. I remember talking with Christoph over a lunch, Christoph from Positive Energy, one day, and I was telling him a little bit about what we were doing, and he had nothing but glowing things to say about hemp construction. And he's from Europe originally, and he just said that he thought it was a really excellent building material and that he felt like it had a really positive future. So I felt like I was on the right path after that, and then I kind of circled back with you some more, and I've just learned more and more and more. And so tell us, what is on the horizon just from our ability to now use hemp more commonplace in the market, and also some regional opportunities that are going to be allowed in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the biggest things that they're doing right now, the U.S. Hemp Building Association, led by Jacob Waddell, the president, they just proposed to the International Code Council, the ICC, a proposal to the International Residential Code was accepted as a proposal to look into using hempcrete as a residential building material.
Right,
so
that's huge.
That approved proposal was a huge first step, and they had an incredible team. I can't name them all right now,
Sure.
but I'm sure you guys will share it,
Right.
of people and builders and engineers and architects that came together to put this proposal to present to the ICC to really start to get this into our building code, which is going to do wonders for the industry and getting more wide accepted usage out there. And so that's one big thing. Also, when you're working on a project with your local building code, there have been projects across the United States that have gotten local building approval. So
Sure.
using those examples and bringing that to your local municipality and code enforcers to show, like, hey, these are the examples. This is the data we have now in the States. This is the data we've gotten from Europe. This is why we want to use these types of materials.
Right.
So that's great.
And that's kind of what we were trying to do here, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we wanted to be able to show off. This was not something that was in our City of Austin building code enforcement jurisdiction. It was kind of conveniently out. It is in Austin, but we didn't have to deal with that aspect, so it was a little bit more opportunistic in that way. But we totally wanted to use it as a jump-off point to bring the City of Austin officials and show them and educate them. Correct?
Absolutely, and they've been so open to it, especially
Super
the
open.
Austin Green Building Energy Department has been huge in this. They've always kind of reached out and want to learn more because
Right.
they see the benefit of it. They see one, the performance, but more importantly, the sustainability aspect of it. So it's very intriguing where we're kind of going towards a more efficient, sustainable path in terms of the building industries to help be a part of this. And also,
100%.
I think with these hemp-based materials, there's so many other types of natural, sustainable materials that can be compatible with this. So it's really helping, open up a door of different options out there.
One of the exciting advances that I just heard about from Maddie was the ASTM testing on hempcrete and the fact that it has been shown to be 100% fire resistant, which is super cool. So as I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong, it seems that more and more ASTM testing is going to be done, and that is going to be significant in making these code changes, which are going to make hempcrete more possible to be put into the IRC in the future.
Absolutely, and better understood as well, and what those capabilities are. So they've done a lot of those testings in Europe, but actually doing here in the United States, looking at its performance and all of the aspects that people are touting with this type of construction to actually be proven in a testing environment.
Very cool. Okay, so tell us, where is hemp gonna come from in the future?
Yeah, so with the 2018 Farm Bill, it was federally legal to begin to start growing industrial hemp. And so ideally, when we're trying to see the future of this industry, is start to really regionalize that supply chain, like I mentioned before. But that means also growing it regionally. You know, here in Texas, actually in our backyard, Texas Hemp Processors with Lucas Evans is starting to grow industrial hemp and start to process it as well. So the hope is that you can begin to grow it here in your region. You'll have a local processing facility that's manufacturing and processing either the hurd or these types of building materials. Sure. And you're really reducing the size of the supply chain and being conscious of the embodied energy of transportation and usage of these types of materials. So ultimately, that is the beautiful vision that we're all shooting for.
Yeah, I love that one. It's kind of in line of the farm to table, it's the farm to home, and it's totally holistic, and I think it's killer. All right, guys, I have the pleasure of introducing you to Alan Graham, who is standing next to me. Alan, thank you so much for coming and being a part of our video.
Awesome. Great to be here, man. Thank you.
Yep. And thank you. And Henry was a really big orchestrator of this whole event and occurrence as well. So Henry introduced me to Alan, and that's how I got to be part of this whole situation. So I'm very blessed and really grateful to be part of it. Alan, that said, I'd like to get a little bit of feedback from you, sir, and this can be totally honest feedback. Tell us a little bit about your thoughts on the first ever hemp home in Austin, Texas, and how it has fared in your community and how it has potentially affected human beings in real life.
Well, we love it. It's a big deal for us. We love technology. We love building technology. That's my wheelhouse, is in the real estate, construction world, and being able to have people come in with this level of technology, trying to push the envelope, is something that is extraordinarily meaningful, not only for us internally here, but really how we look at the future of how we're going to provide housing and how that housing is going to perform for people. So look, this thing looks brand new, and it's not. So it's performing really well.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about the gentleman whom lives inside it. I got to meet him today. Have you gotten to speak with him at all, or can you just kind of shed a little bit of light about the human factor here for us?
Well, you know, what's happening is that his ability to maintain temperature inside his house is actually different than conventionally built homes. And I tell you, I don't think he's got any bugs in there. And I think that's a big deal too. And so the temperature deal is a big deal for these small little homes, because you're trying to power them with these little mini splits and things like that, and to be able to shut your system off and shut your door and walk away for several hours and come back and have essentially maintained that temperature throughout the day within a few degrees, I think is phenomenal.
That's cool. That's kind of a real life example of data points that we have, because we have very similar sized homes in this community that we can kind of compare and contrast to. So it sounds like, from Alan's assessment, this home has done really well with all of its thermal characteristics and energy efficiency characteristics, and also it sounds like health and comfort. I don't want to put any words in your mouth. Henry, why don't you explain to us briefly about how you saw this opportunity within the community, and again, some of the opportunities that you spoke of in terms of technology, and I'll just kind of let you roll it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the first thing, I met Cody Gatlin, who was the architect who was on this project with us as well at a South by Southwest Eco event. And even before that, I talked to you, hey, I heard about Community First Village and how incredible of a community it is and what it's doing, and thought, hey, let's do something good for our Austin community to help with the homelessness issue. And then also putting the project together, industrial hemp wasn't legalized in Texas yet. So we really wanted to help showcase industrial hemp and differentiate it from marijuana, and show our representatives that, hey, this is an industrial commodity product that can be used used in a vast number of industries. So that was another aspect of this project that we wanted to help bring representatives out here and give them a real life example to walk into and be like, hey, there is a huge construction industry that could really benefit our farmers. So when we brought it together, it's really been an incredible experience. Like I always say about Alan, he is so open-minded and willing to try these types of technologies and really push the envelope, and really has this yes mentality that has bred this incredible community, and really wanted to help be a part of that as well.
Yeah, that's wonderful and well said. And Cody, just to mention it, actually lived in this community. So you got to know Cody before this experience, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was one of the original designers in our tiny village competition that we had. He was one of the winners, and so it was natural for him to partner with you guys on this.
Speak to us a little bit about the village as a whole and what it does for people's lives.
Well, this innovative village that we're sitting in the middle of and filming right in front of the hemp home that we built over the past couple of years is a 51-acre, currently about to be add another 127 acres to that. Master plan community designed to lift the most vulnerable people up off the streets of our city. It's actually being replicated around the United States. We have about 20 replicators. But this is really all about innovation. How do we innovate in order to be able to mitigate a profound problem that we have in our communities? And that's why we love what we're doing here with the hemp house. Not only the hemp house, but the 3D printed houses, modular homes, manufactured homes, you name it. We want to experiment with legitimate potential innovations. Now, we get lots of things thrown at us.
I bet.
Like shipping containers. And
Right.
we're not doing shipping containers. We're not housing people inside shipping containers. But look at the beauty of this place. And so, in order to be innovative, you got to invite innovation in, and that's why it was just an absolute no-brainer when this project came to it. There wasn't any discernment about hemp versus anything else out there. It was, let's go, let's do it.
Awesome. Well, as Henry mentioned to me when he brought me into this project, he said, hey, Doug, this is an incubator for new building technologies, and it's so exciting to hear about what some of those technologies are. The 3D printed home, super neat. And again, I just want to thank you so much for having such an open mind to all of these new technologies, because I can say that firmly the construction industry is an extremely conservative industry, and it's very, very difficult to innovate and get new ideas in because there's so much pushback for health, safety, bureaucracy, all sorts of reasons. But this has been a place where we have been able to come and actually try some really cool new technologies out. Some of them are taking from some older technologies that we're kind of recycling and using again. And I think we've come out with a really excellent result. And I'm just also so excited to see what you've done for all these human beings with the gardens, with the trade centers where they're learning how to, you know, support themselves and get themselves off their feet, and everybody's gaining confidence. And people walk around here, some of them with problems, which I think is expected, but I see so many smiles on so many people's faces, and I see so many happy individuals, frankly more happy than pretty much anywhere that I go in Austin, Texas. So, and Austin generally is a pretty happy place, so that's saying a lot. So I just want to, again, thank you so much for everything you've done. I think you're a wonderful human being. And Henry, thank you so much for bringing me into this situation and introducing me to Alan and letting me be part of this beautiful hemp home and helping us put a human being in this hemp home who's in there hanging out and enjoying their home right now. So thank you again, Alan.
Beautiful. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Alan.
All right, guys, if you enjoyed this video, then check out some of my content on Instagram at DesignBuildDoug. And as always, follow me and my colleagues on the Build Show Network. Adios, amigos. So we've got a neighbor here, guys, that's got a special treat for us.
was that?
That was great.
All right.
Awesome. Dude, heck yeah.
Maybe you guys could use some of that in just before you, you know,
Little
before
ambiance, yeah.
before the thing comes on.
I might have to. I might have to now. What was your name?
Oh, Ed.
Ed?
Yeah.
Ed, nice to meet you, Ed.
Thank you.